Do you want to see what a wreck on single track can do to your DRZ? Me too. Stick around. We're going to find out. Welcome back. It's been a while. Boy, but I got a good one for you today. But before we get into it, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment if you'd like to see more content like this. And yeah, that's it. So let me show you what we got going on here. We have a wrecked DRZ. Now, I guess you want a little bit of backstory on what happened here. No, it wasn't me who wrecked it. It was my riding buddy who wrecked it. Unfortunately, I wasn't with him, so there's no crash footage. And he's okay. A little sore and banged up, but he's okay. So he was on some new single track and didn't know the area very well. And he hit a rut at the last minute. He saw it at the last minute. And let me kind of show you what happened here. So when he hit the rut, the wheel turned to the right, and this took the brunt of the hit right here. Then what actually else happened is the rear tire came up over the handlebars sideways, slamming into the ground. So you're looking at this and, well, you're probably thinking just some bent handlebars and a couple mirrors. Well, that's true, but I think there might be a little bit more here than meets the eye. So we really need to kind of look over this bike carefully. So let's start with the obvious. So as you can see, these are some Pro Taper 1/8, or excuse me, Pro Taper 7/8 aluminum bars. These are the CR high bends. So as you can see, this is pretty much toast. Hand guards are toast. Both mirrors are goners. So we definitely need to order some bars and check around, maybe find some used mirrors or something. I want to kind of stick with the OEM mirrors. We could do something like a double take mirrors, but I think we'll find some stock OEM ones off something. Hopefully this mirror perch on this side is still good. I haven't dug in here and found everything. I believe it's still good, but we'll find out. That perch is good. Of course, the Tusk brush guards this one is toast. It's all bent up. So I'm surprised this windscreen is still intact. I mean, it's not really transparent anymore, but let's go around to the front here. I am totally shocked that did not come apart when the bike went over, when the rear tire went over. So that's still good. Now, what might not be apparent is looking at the bike, the forks appear to be okay. But what I think is going on with the forks is they're out of alignment now. I think this fork here is back further than the opposite fork. So we'll have to fix that. One telltale sign is the headlight bracket here, which connects down to this one, is a little askew, and so is the bottom one back here. Either the headlight bracket's bent, or the forks are askew, or maybe a little bit of both. But the headlight assembly seems to be okay. Took some scratches, but we don't really care about the scratches. The front fender survived too. So if we pick the bike up, let me just kind of put my foot underneath it. Oh, here, I'll hold. So I think the front rotor may have a teeny little warp in it, because when I spin it, there's a stiff spot right about there. So I haven't ridden it, Well, of course I haven't ridden it. It's pretty much almost unrideable. But I'll have to get the handlebars and everything back together to check to see if that rotor is got a little warp in it. If it does, I guess we'll put a new one on it. Probably do some kind of aftermarket front rotor, because Suzuki rotors are very expensive. One thing I will tell you is this Duval radiator guard sure saved the show. It held up nice. I think if this wouldn't have been on here, we may have been replacing a radiator here. So let's, okay, so we got all this up here to deal with. So we have hand guards and handlebars. I'm gonna have to cut these grips off, so I'll need to get new grips. Mirrors. So that's pretty much there. Maybe a new front rotor. Fix the out of alignment issue. Check on to see if this is this headlight bracket here is either bent or something's going on with it. Let's look around. So the tank seems to be okay. It's holding gas. But what can happen on these DRZs that a lot of people don't realize is there's a little metal cable bracket that's part of the frame. It's like a post, and it can poke a hole in your tank, and especially a plastic tank like this Acerbis aftermarket tank. Let me see if I can get you a shot. You can see right there, that post, it holds like these cables. I think we got some throttle cables and stuff here. You can see where it's actually touched the tank right there. So if the tank slid forward, it could definitely do some damage and poke a hole in it. But that seems okay. What else? Let's go to the back of the bike. So the frame seems okay. We got still some foliage in it. All this, the foot peg's okay. This chain guard, I believe it's just a chain guard. There's an aluminum tab coming off the swing arm right here. I think it's probably fine. I'd imagine there's like a metal bracket that's behind this plastic chain guard. I think we can just bend that back straight. So, also, the tail section, when the bike flipped, when the rear end came over, that's destroyed. I think also this turn signal might not work anymore. We'll have to play around with that. If not, I have to get a new rear turn signal. I think what we'll do for the rear is what I've done to my DRZ over here, the non-wrecked one, is I eliminated it with the tail tidy. I actually got this off eBay. I think it's a Savage brand. It was like 25 bucks. Came with the light. It allows you to put the stock OEM turn signals back on if that's what you so choose to do. I like the stock turn signals. I like them a lot better than the little flush ones, but to each their own. I think these have a lot more visibility, and I'd rather have more visibility, especially when I'm riding this bike on the pavement. I want to make sure that I'm seen. So that's what I'll probably do there. It's not really worth trying to salvage this piece. You could, but it would cost you a lot more money to buy all these pieces, OEM stock Suzuki pieces, and try to put this back together than just to get a tail tidy rear fender eliminator kit. So we'll go ahead and do that, get one of those on order. Now, the one thing on this bike that really I'm kind of concerned about, let me show you. Look at the tail rack. So this tail rack's bent. Can you see that? See how it comes down here and it's up here. It got obviously hit this way. I think what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to pull this toolkit off, take the seat off, and look at this a little more carefully. I'm hoping that I don't have a bent rear subframe. It's not looking good. If you look at this gap here, this is out of whack. So if it is bent, I'm hoping it's, you know, since I don't think anything's creased or bent, crease bent, maybe a mallet and a block of wood, I can kind of just sort of tweak it back into place. Hopefully it's just something like that. If it's not, if I can't get it back into place, then I maybe searching the internet, eBay or somewhere, for a used subframe for this bike. This side's in pretty good condition. Nothing too terrible. So what I think I'll do right now, I'll take that seat off and remove all that stuff there, remove the bag, and then we'll check, we'll dive deeper to see what I may need to do here. When I get that off, I will get back. I'll turn the camera back on. All right, I'll be right back. Everything in here looks okay. So I think we're going to have to dig a little deeper. Something's going on. Can't tell exactly where. Well, actually, I think I got that plastic line back up. Maybe it's not as bad as I thought. There's definitely some kind of bend in here. So let's dig a little deeper. Alright, so the first thing of removing this is we want to find the wire connections for the rear turn signals and the rear brake light. So they're usually tucked right along here, these three wires. So I'm going to try to dig them out to unplug them. Right and left turn signal and the rear tail light all disconnected. So that's, as far as wiring, that's all you have to do to disconnect that. So if you ever wanted to put a tail tidy on, there's the three wires that you'll need to disconnect to take that off. So there's some 8 and 10 millimeter bolts holding this on. I'm going to go ahead and take those off. 6 total bolts hold that on. There we go. The only thing holding it up right now is the wires. So let me unroute these wires to the frame. Access hole for them. Oh, there's one more. Excuse me, didn't see that one. There's another tie on the frame. And there it is. Take this rear fender loose and get a good look at the subframe. Pull this out of here. Yeah. She got munched. I'm going to have to do a little, clean some of this mud off of it. And get I think the majority of the damage, it doesn't look like it's tweaked either way. I don't see any broken welds or anything. This piece here, this cross brace right here, is what would hold your tool bag on top when you get a DRZ. It also, when you remove the tool bag, then uses these holes to mount the top rack, the metal rack we had on there. It took, when the bike flipped, it obviously munch this cross member here. It's a little out of skew. I think since nothing else is bent or tweaked that I can see, I'll clean it off and take a better look and make sure I'm not missing something. It looks like it might be a little up there and a little down there, but mostly down right there. I think with a block of wood and a mallet, take my time, give it some pops upward, I may be able to just straighten that and like it never happened. So, okay, I don't think we're going to need, from what I can tell, I don't think we're going to need a subframe, which is good news. I did go online and found some. There's plenty out there if I need one. They're not cheap. I think Suzuki wants around $1,200 for a new one, but of course we wouldn't do that. There's plenty out there on the used market for, I've seen them, good ones, you know, anywhere from $350 to $600. So they're available if we need one. But all right, so I'm going to get some parts on order. I'm going to get handlebars, mirrors, some grips, some hand guard, brush guards. I don't need any plastics. Most of these will clean back up. There's a few scratches. I can bend that back in place. What else am I going to need? Could possibly need a front rotor. I don't think the forks are bent, but we're going to look more into that. So I'm going to get some parts on order, and I think I'm going to split this video up into different sections so it's not terribly long, and we'll address each section as we come to it. So anyway, if you like this video, please like, subscribe, leave me a comment. I'd like to know what you think. If you'd like to see more content like this, let me know. All right. We'll go ahead and stay tuned for part 2 as we put this thing back together. All right. Thanks a lot. Bye.